To keep their jobs, Amazon workers, specifically Amazon delivery drivers, will now be required to consent to invasive technological monitoring and biometric monitoring, which comes in the form of cameras and other technology within the vehicles that they drive. The devices will take their photos and track their driving. It will also track whether they're yawning too much. Let me give you the details. Amazon may use certain technology that processes biometric information, including onboard safety camera technology, which collects your photograph for the purposes of confirming your identity and connecting you to your driver account. Using your photograph, the technology may create biometric information and collect, store, and use biometric information from such photographs. Also, this technology tracks vehicle location and movement, including miles driven, speed, acceleration, braking, turns, and following distance as a condition of delivery packages or delivering packages for Amazon. And you have to consent to use the technology. But an important thing to remember is if your boss, if your manager comes to you and asks for your consent, you're not really consenting because they're holding your livelihood over your head and you don't really have a choice. So that's an important thing to keep in mind as Amazon claims that they're making sure to get consent for this type of monitoring.
This is one of those really dystopian stories that you hear every once in a while coming out of our good friends at Amazon. I always think of Amazon as the potential sci-fi dystopia company. Like if we ever were to live in some sort of global one company state, where like a single private corporation basically controls the world, Amazon will be it because it seems to have the grandest and most megalomaniacal designs on that kind of thing with everything they do. I mean, when you hear testimonies from some of the workers that work at Amazon's fulfillment centers, they're horrifying in the sense that they actually get paid okay compared to like other awful, demeaning jobs. But the feeling that they get over and over again is that they're treated like machines, like robots, that they're not treated like human beings. I mean, there's been the stories of, workers having to wear adult diapers while they go into work because like every single second of their day is monitored and they have to fulfill these insane quotas of packaging and things like that. And it's no easier for the drivers, which is why, the union campaign in Bessemer, Alabama, which I know we've talked about a lot, is just, to me, is like the most important political story in the world right now. I mean, it really is. It's just, Amazon is at the heart of the system. It is the most iconic example of capitalist domination over every sector of our society. I mean, they are just everywhere. They're everywhere. Huge swaths of our economy are dominated by this one corporation. So an organizing campaign to push back against this corporate power is just, to me, it's the most important political story in the world. Obviously the election ends in 5 days, so we'll see what happens. But should it win? Should the workers win their right to form a union? You could imagine it being the start of a broader trend. Should they be defeated, the defeat will be absolutely crushing. I mean, it just will be such a disappointment and such a soul-sucking, acceptance of this one corporation's dominance over our lives.
Yeah, and just to give you examples of what this is like for the drivers. I mean, we've heard about the factory workers and how they can't even step aside to go to the bathroom, right? We've heard stories about some of them literally wearing diapers so they don't get penalized for using the restroom while they're on the job. It's considered stealing company time. Like, it's just the most disgusting treatment of workers imaginable. Similar things are being implemented for the drivers who oftentimes have to deliver hundreds of packages in a 10-hour shift. Some drivers have reported that they don't even have time to find a bathroom. The cameras will monitor for drivers who urinate or defecate outdoors. So there's all this pressure to deliver packages as quickly as possible. Get these packages delivered by the time your shift is over. You don't want to move over to overtime, right? And so I don't know if it's been a thing where they feel like they can't find a restroom, they don't have time for it, and so to further penalize them, well, if you do this, in a non-bathroom environment, well, you'll be penalized for that as well. It's just gross. It's gross. And you're right that focusing on Bessemer and that unionization effort is important, because that can really have a ripple effect on all the other companies that do similar things. Like when the pandemic first started, one of the big stories was that for people who were lucky enough, I guess, to keep their jobs and work from home, all these like companies were starting to force them to update their computers with like this software that would monitor them to make sure that they were actually working when they were on the clock. It's just so invasive. Like this kind of monitoring is unnecessary. It's abusive, it's awful, and so to see that kind of effort pay off in Bessemer, I think would have a ripple effect for other companies as well. And I think it would motivate other workers to organize and stop allowing their bosses to treat them like this.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.